G'day, g'day. Welcome to the next thing on the slab, which is regular terrain rather than a terrain board. Now, I'm going for a rather far-reaching amount of terrain here. I've got a lot of scattered terrain. There's still more, but I'll sort that out after. I want to get a lot of this scattered terrain done. I've also got a few buildings made from mantic terrain. So if we start having a look here, we've got cars from The Walking Dead. So the two trucks, two cars. I've started one off with the rust painted in and masked up, and then chrome coloured spray on it. So that'll pretty much be weathering and detail picking out from there. I'm only doing rust where the cars have been crumpled, so similar to this, I'm going to mask off areas and then give it a coat of gloss enamel, and then use oils to weather over that most likely, because I get a lot better purchase and I can work on them. I'm going to do one very rusty truck and one truck that's similar to the cars, only rusted up in the places where it's taken damage. From Mars Attacks, I got this with Mars Attacks. This is I'm gonna say it's a Antonicities one. I don't remember. It's a sports car with a motorcycle crashed into the side. All sorts of random I-beams and stuff, and even the kitchen sink, because everything, including the kitchen sink. I've got a Aegis defense line with the comms relay and the anti-aircraft weapon. So it's about time that got painted up, since I tend to use it a lot these days. I've got 3 of these 3D printed dumpsters. I've got some more there, but I'm going to do 3 to start with. These are, I believe, of my own design. Yeah, I've got a few more. There's 2 different types here, actually. Maybe these was no, they're all of my design, so that's okay. I've got some of those. I've got a few more to paint up at some point. Lots of Mars Attacks terrain, so a little overboard with that. The barricaded doors, the picket fences. I've got ones in white over here. I'm not looking forward to painting the shopping trolleys on them, just because of all the stuff in it. But I will control myself. I have a couple test pieces, little vending machines, Fallout inspired ones that I've 3D printed. So it's another model of my own creation. So not as fancy as some of the other ones. Some of these resin pieces, I got them in a like a trade me, like an eBay auction sort of thing. They come along with a bunch of orcs, so I've got 3 of them. 3D printed barrels. I can't remember who designed these, but they're available on Thingiverse. 2 sets of them. They're a little smaller than probably most of the things, but they work okay. And I printed them. I might as well paint them. I got a few piles of rubble and a ton of these little crate crosses. They'll just get quick jobs on them, really. We've seen those. Some more. That's another Resin Games Workshop one, I believe. Also came with the orc stuff. No random stuff. Couple of these again, GW, I believe. So yeah, they'll get painted up. They will kind of work with the very impressive and excuse me, and lovingly printed and primed Gothic Abbey from printable scenery. This took about 24 hours to print and cost about maybe $5 or $7 worth of plastic. It's 7 New Zealand dollars, so naffle. It is super cheap, but it's really nice. It was printed in 4 parts, and I've welded all the pieces together with soldering iron, so there's a seam running up the middle there. You can sort of pick it out. but it should disappear in painting. Again, a seam running up the middle, but mostly hidden. You're not going to see it. It's a wonderful piece. I'm really happy with how it printed out. It was quite thick on the bottom, so I cut all that out so it'll sit easier over the terrain boards. It'll work fine on the city that I've already painted, but on the ruined city it'll fit much better with that cut out. We've got Walking Dead barricades and counters. I've got a couple more of the Walking Dead ones there. And then over here I've got 9 printable sceneries, nailed trees. Now I started a few of these a while ago, and these ones had the 3D paint. You can tell I've been priming all these up with the airbrush, so my hands are a different colour. But yeah, these have the 3D textured paint, which is this stuff here, the Deco 3D acrylic, which just dries really thick. So it's like a full auto body primer, which this one has been covered in. You can still see some of the striations in there. I tried to go pretty thick on it, but it took about half a can to cover 6 trees. So this one's had that thick 3D paint and then a coarse texture paint painted over the top to give it that knobbly look. Probably will do that on the other trees. The ones that have been painted brown have been done in that fashion and have also been put on 3D printed bases. The intention is I'll make area bases that these can be removed from as well. So we've got 9 of them. Now one of the things is of the trees they give you, there are 2 with faces, 2 without faces, and I wanted 3 different trees per stand. So we've got that's one type of tree that comes straight with the pack that you get. This is another kind of tree that you get. So you've got the 2 different types there, and then this one is actually an amalgamation of the 2. So I put the 2 models over each other, spun them around to the branches were free, and then just welded the mesh together and got a different looking tree without having to do much effort, and they come up quite nice. Now a vast amount of mantic terrain. I've posted pictures I think of these before, so you can see plasticard all around that. I've got a door to go in there which will not be glued in. This one I may even base and put a little generator inside there. The plan is to go through, cover up all the holes, join up all the seams, and end up with a primed result, something similar to this. So this is one of the few that have finished, if I get a good hold on it. And the result is really nice. It's a lot more solid looking building. Just really finishes the pieces off quite nicely, not having those gaps in it. I also did a much larger one. This will have I'm probably going to glue the ground floor door in, but this one is, I don't know, it sort of made me think of one of the Call of Duty games where they had the big hangar doors in the ground. I think it was Black Ops or Black Ops 2, the control room on that. But yeah, that's all been primed outside and in there. Still pretty raw in there. Pre-painted some of the tiles. This one is a hybrid, so this midsection here, you can see there's a half panel in there, and I cut down some of the long diagonal panels to fit in there, and have filled in the seams with plasticard and copious amounts of it to get a nice sort of seal in there and get just a different sized building out of them. This one's a bit of a copy of a building I saw on the internet. They'd boarded up the windows and put like a little platform out there, put a sign up in the middle above the door, had vending machines on the side and had done it like a little cafeteria sort of thing, a eatery. So I'm copying that shamelessly, and if I find the reference, I'll link to it at some point. Now, next one, I'm going to pull over here and try and find a space. So like that. So this one, because I overdid it when I ordered all these tiles, I went to town on this one, really trying to build a rather large garage. Running out of windows, so I cut the fans out on that and have a round evil lair or evil genius sort of window. Spin it round, and yeah, so it's all textured or detailed around there, and it's okay. And this one, you can lift the roof off, and it's got additional detail inside. So I wanted to still be able to use this stuff for Dead Zone, but I wanted some interesting shapes for using it in other war games, so 40k or Warpath when I finally get round to that. This has to have a lot of joins sealed in that. The door up here, I made a lot of stairs which are 2 stairs wide with the triangle pieces on the side, just so that they can be used as impromptu staircases wherever the needs arise. Then from Mars Attacks, I went quite heavy on that for the terrain. I've still got a lot of pieces for the Mars Attacks one kicking around. I cut out all the windows. Don't cut out the windows. It's getting mad. I used a Dremel or a rotary tool because it's not actually a branded Dremel, and just carefully cut through them all. It got a clean result. I'm happy with that. I've still got to go in and turn them all into windows because it's crazy, but the roof comes off there. It still needs some platforming put on there, and this roof comes off here, and I've just used these edge sign things. So these edge signs here, cut the lugs off the back so that that can just sit on there, clip in, and it's a pretty good seal. You can see Dead Zone ramps played a part in there, and some more half-height tiles just cut down to make that midway platform. And the idea is, you can chuck something like a dumpster in there, and that looks rather fetching. The last building that we've got here, I tried 3D printing the floor. I did it in tiles to try it out. I made my own little connectors on it, and it's okay. I'm probably gonna, I don't know, I might pop it off. It's only super glue holding that on there because of course the PLA doesn't work with the other glue. Again, windows cut out. There's a back door on it. The idea here was I was going to put like a do some internal terrain, so have like a counter or something in there, row of shelves along the wall, and have it as a sort of shopping centre. I still need to build a roof for it, which will probably be plasticard and foam core. I may 3D print one. We'll see how I go. The other thing I was thinking was to print out the internals of a shop and put paper in there, set back from the windows, fill in the windows with a bit of plastic and grime them up a bit so it looked like it was filled with stuff but isn't. But that would essentially turn it into just a hill if it was all sealed up. That is what's on the table now, so it is a rather it's a lot of stuff to do. It's going to take me a while to get through this lot. A lot of airbrushing, a lot of cutting corners, a lot of cutting plasticard, but I am looking forward to getting some actual terrain done for the boards. And the idea is I'm going to be painting models again in the meantime. So this will be half the time, the other half will be up in the house getting some models ready. Cheers for joining in. Do those things that people ask you to do at the end of videos, and I will catch you next time. Bye.